Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Monday Night Raw, as we are live here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, as we continue the trek to Backlash, only 2 weeks away, and we have a loaded Monday Night Raw card for you tonight. So if you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more wrestling content. And we're going to kick it off with none other than the Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair, makes her way to the ring inside of her home state. Was originally supposed to be in Knoxville, but unfortunately some geographical and scheduling issues have caused us to move to Chattanooga. But nonetheless, Bianca Belair getting a roar from the WWE Universe, no pun intended, as she makes her way to the ring for a Raw Women's Championship Open Challenge. Bianca Belair wants to defend her title tonight, her first title defense since winning the title at WrestleMania, and there's no bigger way to do it than with a surprise opponent. But Bianca Belair feeling very confident tonight, and we'll have to see who steps up to the plate. Well, how about this? The return of Alexa Bliss. She has answered the open challenge, and if I'm Bianca Belair, I am nervous. The craziest of the women in the women's division makes her way to the ring. We haven't seen Alexa Bliss since that Elimination Chamber match back in February, and before that we saw her in counseling. But Alexa Bliss has returned here tonight, and she wants the Raw Women's Championship. A very accomplished competitor in her own right, 5-time women's champion, 3-time Raw, 2-time SmackDown, the first woman to ever hold the Raw and SmackDown women's championships, and has probably a pretty big chip on her shoulder. So Bianca Belair has quite the challenge in front of her, but it is for the title, the Raw Women's Championship, on the line here tonight in our opening contest here on Monday Night Raw. As Alexa Bliss, 5 feet of fury, the former goddess, and now the descendant of what used to be the Fiend, it seems like, is now in the ring, has a chance to make it 6, but she'll have to beat the roughest, the toughest, the quickest, the strongest, and the best EST in WWE, Bianca Belair. She raises the Raw Women's Championship over her head before handing it over to the referee as we make this one official. We got a live crowd here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, chanting EST as we get ready for the Raw Women's Championship. Both superstars look at the title high over the head. That's the gold. That's the big prize here as it's turned over to our official. Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. Welcome to this episode of Monday Night Raw. We are here underway as both superstars meet up in the center of the ring. And it's Alexa Bliss getting the quick offense, trying to overwhelm Bianca Belair out of the gate. Now, we talked about this on SmackDown when Sonya Deville had to face Asuka in a surprise opponent situation. As if you're the surprise opponent, you want to come out and you want to come out firing, because your opponent doesn't know who they're facing. You've probably had an idea that you're going to challenge for the title, so you got to jumper and get the most against your competitor before they start to settle in, before they start to develop a strategy, as Bianca Belair looks like right now showing off the power game as she just military presses Alexa Bliss down to the mat. Bianca Belair, she's been champion for a couple weeks now. This is 22 days since she won the title. Will it end here tonight against Alexa Bliss as she just walks across the pack of Bianca Belair? This is where we're talking about the very unnerving side of Alexa Bliss as she drops Bianca Belair down and poses in front of the crowd. Now, Alexa Bliss, haven't seen her in a while, as maybe she's wasting a couple minutes here. See if she has any ring rust as she goes against Bianca Belair. Both these superstars did collide in that Elimination Chambers match back in February, where Bianca Belair won that match, punched her ticket to WrestleMania, and cashed in with the title, as it looks like Alexa Bliss was going up to the top rope, but Bianca Belair met her in her tracks. She drops her to the outside, and then just a knee to the back of the head of Alexa Bliss. Bianca Belair taking control on the outside as she starts to develop a game plan now that she knows who her opponent is. We'll see if Bianca Belair can get the jump and get the most against Bliss and retain her title. She just bounces her off the ring post. Alexa Bliss, though, quickly back to her feet. So Bianca there will meet her with a right. And then she'll lift her up from behind and slam her just sternum first into the ground. That is, like we said, a soft layer of padding underneath. Bianca Belair makes her way to the ring as this get refs up to a count of 6. And Alexa Bliss will join her. Bianca Belair will meet her with a right. Alexa Bliss will counter with an elbow. And now she'll continue the striking against the champion. And there's a reverse cutter. That drives Bianca Belair into the mat. Alexa Bliss establishing control. She went for a right, but Bianca will counter. She'll connect with a right slap of her own. Open hand slap. Now a kick to the midsection. Bianca Belair looking for a little pump handle right into the knee across the rib cage of Alexa Bliss. And here's that military press again, just so strong. The strongest woman in the division, hands down. Bianca Belair now looking to take control, maybe showing a little bit of taunting, showing that overconfidence that Bianca Belair might have. She hits a standing moonsault onto Alexa Bliss. She's going to look to curl her again. Yes, she's able to get her up. And this is what Bianca Belair has to take advantage of. If you're Alexa Bliss, you can't allow Bianca Belair to get that power game going. Now, she says she is the quickest, the roughest, the toughest, so not much, weaknesses if that's the case. But Alexa Bliss has got to exploit something. Otherwise, she's just going to keep getting curled and military pressed into oblivion. As Bianca Belair now in full control of this match. Remember, Raw Women's Championship on the line. Now, we know Becky Lynch is waiting in the wings somewhere. Becky Lynch lost at WrestleMania. We have not seen Becky Lynch since losing her title, but you have to think she has rematch on her mind as Bianca Belair gets the first cover of the match. Bliss will kick out at 1. So whoever wins this match will be firmly in the crosshairs of the rest of the women's division. Becky Lynch, there's still Rhea Ripley, there's still Liv Morgan as well, Carmella, a lot of big name women in the Raw Women's division as there's a nice move by Alexa Bliss once more. And once more, just going to taunt to the crowd. I don't know if that's the wisest decision, but Alexa Bliss still maintains control as she shoots the half and goes for a cover of her own. And Bianca Belair will kick out at 1. Now Bliss now snaps Bianca Belair over. She's going to hit the ropes and connect with a dropkick right to the face of Bianca Belair. Now there's that knees into the salt, knees into the abdomen of Bianca Belair. Alexa Bliss looking to take control. I think she was looking for Twisted Bliss or Sister Abigail. But Bianca Belair will counter. Elbow strike right into the back. Another one into the back of Bliss. She falls to the ground. Now Bianca Belair gonna go to the top rope. Alexa Bliss is in the drop zone. And Bianca connects with the 450 splash. Perfect rotation into the cover. And that is going to be enough for the victory. Bianca Belair wins and retains the Raw Women's Championship. Overall, a solid fight from Alexa Bliss, but Bianca Belair able to get it done thanks to a beautiful 450 splash. I thought when Bliss hit the knees into the ribs there, it was going to be enough, but I think Bianca Belair was able to counter what could have been Sister Abigail. And Bianca Belair hit the 450 and picks up the victory. Bianca Belair retains her Raw Women's Championship tonight inside of her home state. Big win here for the University of Tennessee alum as she celebrates. But wait a second. That's Becky Lynch with a kendo stick right to the ribs of Bianca Belair. Speak of the devil, and they will appear. Becky Lynch with a kendo stick from behind. I think it's pretty obvious what her message is. She wants her title back. Well, we just saw Bianca Belair retain her title. What's up with the rest of the card? Next, we'll see R-Truth versus Veer Mahan as Veer looks to get back in the win column. Dana Brooke will go one-on-one against Carmella, fresh off her honeymoon. Dolph Ziggler and AJ Styles cross paths. And then Bobby Lashley gets ready for Backlash as he takes on Commander Aziz, Kevin Owens, and Cody Rhodes in our co-main event. And then in the big one, we celebrate 20 years of Randy Orton as he goes one-on-one against Rey Mysterio. Veer Mahan was able to pick up the victory against R-Truth. Carmella comes back from honeymoon and beats Dana Brooke. AJ Styles won, and that one was by DQ. We'll touch on that in a second. And Bobby Lashley beats Commander Aziz. We'll actually hear more from Lashley tonight. But let's get ready for Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes. But before we got there, this is how the AJ Styles-Dolph Ziggler match ended. Damian Priest actually came to ringside and started attacking AJ Styles, so the ref called for the bell. But then back in the ring, Ciampa from out of nowhere lays off Dolph Ziggler with a fairy tale ending. Remember, Ziggler jumped Ciampa last week. Ciampa wanted an eye for an eye, so very chaotic end to that match. But now it's on to our co-main event of the evening. This is how much of a loaded card this is. We've already had a championship match, and Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes is the co-main event. So plenty of action still to come tonight. Plenty of action has unfolded already as Kevin Owens makes his way to the ring. Now, we haven't seen Kevin Owens since WrestleMania, where he lost in Night 1's main event to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, fortunately for Kevin, he is no longer in the state of Texas, but looking to get back against the win column against the American Nightmare here tonight. Kevin will claim that he was injured going into the match against Stone Cold, but he can't afford to be injured here tonight as he takes on Cody Rhodes just a couple weeks away from Backlash. Now here comes the American Nightmare, the man of the hour himself. Cody Rhodes makes his way to the ring as he gets a warm welcome, to say the least, here in Chattanooga. Cody Rhodes, 2-0 since coming back to WWE. We saw him beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and then 2 weeks ago was victorious against Apollo Crews in his return to Raw. And we know Cody Rhodes has a big match planned ahead of him at Backlash. Him versus Seth Rollins in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Seth Rollins wanted his shot of redemption. He claims that Cody Rhodes can't beat him twice. So we'll see if that goes to Backlash and is the case. But Cody Rhodes making his way to the ring as he gets ready for his one-on-one contest against Seth Rollins' quote-unquote friend tonight in Kevin Owens. Now, Cody Rhodes, obviously his intentions are known. I think he wants to win the WWE Championship, but he has a big match here tonight against Kevin Owens as he prepares in the ring. And, well, look who's decided to show his head. Seth freaking Rollins makes his way to the ring as it looks like Seth Rollins wants to get a closer eye on this one, as he will be seated ringside at the commentary table for this match. So Seth Rollins maybe looking to scout his opponent here tonight, maybe looking to see if his best friend can beat Cody Rhodes and see what he can imitate going into the match in 2 weeks against Cody Rhodes. But back to our action. This one is underway here. Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes here tonight. And Kevin Owens with the early advantage lifts Cody up and drops the neck first into the mat. So Kevin Owens, obviously coming off the loss at WrestleMania to Stone Cold, where he was kind of embarrassed at the end of Night 1. So he's looking to get back in the win column. What a win over Cody Rhodes would do for Kevin Owens here tonight. Meanwhile, Cody looking to beat Kevin Owens, build some more momentum into that clash at Backlash, and that 2 out of 3 falls match against Seth Rollins, a big-time match as Cody Rhodes, has to beat Seth Rollins twice, and to Seth's credits, he is kind of telling the truth. He will actually be able to prepare for Cody in 2 weeks. So Cody, best man, will win 2 out of 3 falls. You have to beat your opponent twice before your other opponent, or before your opponent beats you twice, and that'll be declared the victor. But back to this one, Cody Rhodes now landing some rights on Kevin, but Kevin will sling Cody Rhodes down. The young man from Atlanta, Georgia, made his triumphant return at WrestleMania, but Kevin Owens looking to end that quote-unquote fairy tale story here tonight as he tries to work away on Cody in the corner, but Cody will fight out, and he will take control in this matchup. He picks Kevin Owens back to his feet and looks for a neck breaker that drops Kevin Owens. Don't forget, Seth Rollins is at the commentary table as Cody Rhodes drops Kevin Owens to the mat. So Seth Rollins getting a little bit of chance to scout. Maybe Cody doesn't want to throw his whole arsenal tonight, but you got to be careful. If you don't throw your whole arsenal to Kevin Owens, you might lose out to Kevin Owens. So a very interesting spot here for Cody tonight, as now Kevin Owens hits a back suplex on the American Nightmare. Now a running senton onto the chest and abdomen area of Cody Rhodes as Kevin Owens firmly in control here, but Cody Rhodes not going to go down lightly as he fights back here, looking to take back in control. And there's a DDT, drops Kevin Owens head first into the mat. Nice technique too. And now wrapping up the arms of Owens as he snaps that right shoulder back. Cody Rhodes now taking control. There's an elbow drop to Owens. Maybe 2, is looking for 3, and he will hit. So Cody Rhodes now taking control. Kevin Owens, though, is a very resilient performer. Owens will not go down lightly. He's proved that in the past, as he will take your best move and keep on fighting, as he used to say, fight Owens, fight. Now stun Owens, stun. As Owens fights out of the submission. Both superstars now lock up in the ring. Rhodes has the advantage. He's going to drag Kevin against the ropes. And he's going to look for a suplex onto the top rope and slingshot into a Falcon Arrow. Nice move there by Cody Rhodes as now he heads to the top rope. Owens is down on the mat, and there's a swanton by Cody as he goes into the cover on Kevin. He gets a 2 count, but Kevin will kick out. So Cody Rhodes showing a little bit of that new offense he has put together as he puts Kevin Owens into the far corner. And Owens will fight out of it, and he will lock up Cody Rhodes and hit a snap suplex of his own. And the American Nightmare now back first on the canvas. Owens now kick to the midsection. He's going to look for that package bomb as he drops Cody Rhodes to the side. Now Kevin Owens starting to build some momentum. He has Rhodes back on his feet and connects with the stunner. Rhodes gets hit with a stunner. That's a 2, but Cody kicks out before 3. Oh, Kevin Owens hit the stunner. Rhodes took Owens' best shot, but it keeps on going. I think Owens needs to do a little bit more if he wants to put Cody away. Now Cody back to his feet, and he's going to look for a suplex, but Owens will fight out of it. Now Kevin Owens hits a neck breaker on the back of the neck of Cody, and Owens back in control. Like we mentioned earlier, what a win here tonight would do for Kevin Owens. I would put him right back in the thick of things. That would be a great bounce back after losing to Stone Cold at WrestleMania. And Owens is in control. There's a couple of rights, couple of lefts. He drops the American Nightmare to the campus. As now both superstars lock up. Rhodes has Owens. What is he looking for here? He's got him high up in the crucifix and hits a Rage's Edge on Kevin Owens. Rest in peace, Scott Hall. Now, submission move in the center of the ring. Rhodes will let it go as Owens now will roll out of the way. It looks like Rhodes was looking to springboard there. Owens has Rhodes up, but Rhodes counters with a DDT. Owens into the canvas. Rhodes going to go for the cover. Will he get Kevin here? No, just a kick out at 1. There's that resiliency being shown by Kevin Owens. Only gets a 1 count. Now Rhodes from behind, looking to wrap up Kevin. It looks like Kevin's looking to fight out of it. He does. I think he stomped on that foot of Cody Rhodes. Rhodes has him up, ties the arms again, and drops him with a DDT. That's a very unique DDT. Owens, arms wrapped up, can't fight out of it. Now Cody in control, but Kevin counters with a left knee into the leg, or into the ribs. And Cody Rhodes flings Owens over. Now Cody to the outside, going to head up to the top turnbuckle. Owens down on the canvas, tried to look for another swanton, but Owens moved it out of the way. Go to the well too many times. His opponent will counter. But now here's a butterfly, knees into the abdomen of Kevin Owens. Look, just a butterfly hold. A nice, unique offense once more by Cody. Owens, though, still showing that fight, taking it to Cody Rhodes. Now both superstars back to their feet. Owens has Rhodes up and just hangs him on that top rope. And Cody up on the throat. Owens now for another senton and just driving the win out of Cody. Looking to wear down his opponent. Sharp right hands, quick right hands into the temple of Cody Rhodes. Rhodes now, though, back to his feet. He's going to get Kevin in position. There's a strike to the face. Maybe look for crossroads there from behind, but Owens will kick out of it and hits a snap suplex into the cover, but Rhodes' foot underneath the ropes. Owens now, second stunner, a connect on the stunner to Cody. Is this enough to put away the Nightmare? What an upset this would be, but Cody kicks out at 2 7/8. Oh, I thought that was it. Rhodes took a second stunner, but still can't be put away. Owens now goes for a third. Rhodes blocks, hits a belly-to-belly to Kevin Owens. Rhodes back to his feet, lifts up Kevin. There's that butterfly hold again. Knees into the ribs of Owens. Now Rhodes in control. Kevin back to his feet. Rhodes picks him up. He's going to drive him snake eyes into the corner. Now Cody Rhodes building momentum. Kick to the midsection. He's going to wrap him up. Look for that inverted pile driver. Owens, he has him up on his back. Drives him across the high tops of the shoulder blades. Rhodes now into the cover. Is that enough to put away Kevin Owens? 2. And no, Kevin Owens kicks out at 2.5. Cody Rhodes thought that was 3. But now Cody lining up Kevin Owens. Maybe looking for crossroads here. Gets him from behind, has it locked in, and he will connect with crossroads. That drops Kevin Owens. Rhodes into the cover. 1, 2, and that is your victory. Cody Rhodes comes away victorious in a hard-fought battle against Kevin Owens, as Crossroads put him away, but very competitive contest. Both superstars took their best shot from each other, and Cody Rhodes is able to get his hand raised at the end of the day. Seth Rollins, we'll see if he saw a lot at ringside in this matchup. And it looks like Seth Rollins is actually up off the commentary table, and he's making his way to the side of the ring. He has a microphone. We'll have to see what Seth Rollins has to say. Cody, 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 Mr. Nightmare. In 2 weeks at Backlash, I will beat you not once, but twice right here in the center of this ring, because we both know on a fair playing field, you can't beat me. I'm Seth freaking Rollins. Now, next week on Raw, I want to give you a little taste of your own medicine. Because you see, at WrestleMania, I had no idea you would be my opponent. Well, let's turn the tables next week. Next week, live here on Monday Night Raw, you are going to be standing in the middle of the ring against an opponent of my choosing. Let's see how you fare against that, Mr. Nightmare. Ha 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 ha! What a match that will be next week. Cody Rhodes will be in the center of the ring, and he'll face an opponent of Seth Rollins' choosing. Once he makes his way to the ring, he won't find out until he is standing in the squared circle. But now this week, our main event, Rey Mysterio makes his way to the ring as he is greeted with a nice crowd from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Rey Mysterio going at it alone tonight. No Dominic Mysterio. We haven't seen Dominic since WrestleMania, but Rey says he is back home at San Diego, California, and he is training for the next path in his WWE career, while Rey Mysterio continues to go at it alone. Rey Mysterio, a very accomplished singles competitor, a 3-time world champion here in WWE, the greatest high flyer of all time. But he is going up against the man of the week, as it has been Orton week here in the WWE, and that's because we have been celebrating 20 years of this man's career, 20 full-time years of Randy Orton, the Legend Killer, the Viper, the Apex Predator, whatever you want to call him, you gotta call him a legend. 20 years straight, a 14-time world champion, and almost better than ever. I mean, he's one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions with his partner Riddle of RK Bro. And Riddle not at ringside here tonight. He wanted to give Randy Orton the spotlight. He said, hey man, this week is all about you. Go get it done, bro. I will be waiting for you in the back, and we can celebrate in only the way that Riddle knows how to celebrate. As Randy Orton goes one-on-one here in our main event, it's only fitting that Randy Orton caps off tonight's show. Now, Randy Orton, 20 years in the WWE, so tonight he'll go up against one of his old rivals in Rey Mysterio. Both these superstars have fought numerous times in the past. As we get ready for our main event, Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton, one-on-one. And we are underway. The crowd is up on their feet, and Rey Mysterio will start with a kick to the midsection of Randy Orton. Like we said, 20 years of Randy Orton. These two superstars go way back. early as 2006 when both these superstars were part of that triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Rey Mysterio victorious on that night. They cross paths years later on SmackDown as Orton hits an elbow drop. Not something we see out of Randy Orton. Still 20 years, still adding to his game. So both these superstars, they've had their differences, but this is a respect match. Both superstars have agreed that they're just going to give it their best. May the best man win. As Rey Mysterio now has the advantage here in the early going as he works away on the lower legs of Randy Orton. Orton now in control, just going to drive his knee into the side of that joint of Rey Mysterio and twist away. That is what Randy Orton is so good at, is just picking apart almost methodically of his opponent. As there's a very unique move as well as he separates the legs of Rey Mysterio. Orton now in control, picks up Rey and looks to drive him across the top rope, just looking to drive the air out of the lungs, and now just raining down rights on Rey Mysterio. Now, I mentioned Randy Orton is one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions. Rey Mysterio is part of a tag team of his own with his son, Dominic. Now, obviously, like we said, Dominic not here tonight, but I'd like to see those tag teams cross paths. Maybe one day we'll see RK Bro versus the Mysterios for the Raw Tag Team Championships. I would sign up to see that match. But here tonight, it's just Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio one-on-one. No tag team partners, nobody at ringside. Just a singles competition. Orton now still in control, slowing down the pace. That's what you got to do against the greatest high flyer of all time. There's a sharp clothesline that knocks Rey off his feet, but Rey's going to counter with a clothesline of his own, and Randy goes to the mat. Rey Mysterio taking control as he looks for a DDT, and he will hit it on Randy Orton. Orton now down. Rey Mysterio picks up Randy as he's building some momentum. Kick to the midsection, just face first goes the Viper. As Rey Mysterio looking to settle this one as he snapmares Randy Orton. Head snaps back. Now Rey's going to go where he shines. To the top rope he goes, looking for a frog splash, and he connects. Frog splash down on Orton. Here comes the pin. Will he spoil Orton's night? But Orton will get the shoulder up at 2. Well, Rey would definitely play spoiler if he won this match, as this week has been all about Randy, and Rey would come in and steal the victory. Now Rey, like we said, there's a respect between these two superstars, but Rey will not hold back. He is looking to pick up the victory as a win over a 14-time champion. It still holds a lot of weight as there is a top rope bulldog by Rey Mysterio. A nice move as he's had all of them in him. Orton hasn't moved from the mat, still face down. Rey waiting for Randy to get up. Orton now finally starting to stir. Rey perched up on the top rope, and he goes for a head scissors takedown into the cover. Is this enough? 2, and no. Orton gets out of it at 2.5. So Rey firmly in control of this matchup. There's a drop kick to the back of Orton. Now Rey will go back up to the top rope. He's thinking frog splash again, but this time Orton gets the knees up. Had it scouted, and now Orton looks to take control, but Rey will connect with a crossbody across Randy Orton, and Randy Orton just hasn't been able to get out of the box, hasn't been able to weather this storm of Rey, and now he just lands across the spine of Randy Orton. So Rey Mysterio overwhelming Randy early. So there's another snapmare, drives the pressure of the neck forward and back, and now will drop a couple legs down on Orton of his own. Orton now finally back to his feet, and he hits an RKO on Rey Mysterio out of nowhere into the cover, but Rey is in the rope, so it will force a rope break. But that's what you got to worry about when facing Randy Orton. You never know when he can hit that RKO, and just like that, now Orton in control, and Orton is in his wheelhouse. Slowly, methodically, picking away at his opponent, just stops all the way around, now into the cover. Is that enough to put away Mysterio? No, it is not. Mysterio kicks out at 2. It's the crowd here in Tennessee loving the action. Orton is in control. Drops a knee across the head of Mysterio. Now just working away. Right hands into the top of Mysterio's head. But Mysterio still showing some fight. He takes Orton off his feet. Now hits a springboard moonsault. You saw the elevation on that one. And now up to the top rope. Mysterio might be thinking frog splash again. No, he's just going to drop the dime on Orton. as Mysterio retakes control. Orton, though, back to his feet, looking for a clothesline. Mysterio will cut him off. He'll tie up Orton. Now gets a hold of the arm. He's going to take him to the corner. We'll jump up on the top rope and hit a deep arm drag that sends Orton off his feet. And once more, Mysterio getting it going off of the ropes. Orton, once more, looking for a clothesline. Maybe some frustration settling in. Not a lot of good technique out of Orton as he missed. And now Rey into another cover, gets 2.5. Closer and closer to putting away Randy Orton. Orton just hasn't been able to get out of the box. Maybe it's been a while since he's been a frequent singles competitor. Him and RK Bro have been teaming for over a year now. Randy Orton and RK Bro as well have a upcoming title defense against the Street Profits that'll take place a couple weeks after Backlash. But has to put that aside. Knows that's in the back of his mind. But tonight he's got to take care of Rey Mysterio, who just drove 2 boots into his chest. Orton, I think, went for that wild clothesline again. Just gets dumped outside the ring for his troubles. And Mysterio has just been all over Randy. Randy hasn't been able to get in a groove. As Mysterio now working away on the legs. Orton will kick him off as the ref begins his count. Now Orton stomping away on Mysterio. Just going to get him from behind, wrench away as he looks to put pressure on that top upper section of his body. Orton did hit an RKO earlier. If he hits another one, it could be the end for Mysterio. Mysterio, though, kicks low, lefts and rights to the hamstrings of Orton. Now he's going to make his way into the ring. Orton will stand and pose in front of the crowd, celebrating. And Rey Mysterio will go back outside, so the ref will begin his count over. But I think Orton was waiting for Mysterio. He hits him with a full Nelson slam, and that puts Orton back in control. Those superstars continue to fight on the outside. Orton has Rey up for a suplex and will hit it on the outside. Refs count up to 3, as now Orton is taking control in this contest. Orton will send Mysterio back into the ring. He will walk around, and he will oblige, taking his time. Now Mysterio starting to get back to his feet. Randy is there waiting for him. He's going to get him up again and look for another suplex, and he will connect. Second suplex to Rey. And now he's going to drive his knee into Mysterio's head. Now back to the stomps. This is the Orton pace. Just slowing down the matchup. Just stomping away on your opponent. Building that momentum. Now going to slide into a cover. Is that enough to beat Mysterio as he gets 2, almost gets 3. But Mysterio indeed does get that right shoulder up. Orton wanted 3 there. But now, setting up for that RKO. He's pounding the mats. Mysterio back to his feet, but Mysterio will counter. He has Randy Orton up and delivers a power slam to Orton. What strength by Rey Mysterio. Now Mysterio to the top rope looking for that frog splash, but Orton gets the knees up. Both superstars countering their best shot. Orton now has Mysterio. There's a nice belly to belly. Now Orton back in control. Working away on the limbs of Mysterio. This one starting to get hectic down the stretch. I think both superstars know that the win hangs in the balance. Orton, repeated stomps to that right arm of Mysterio. Now has him back to his feet. And Rey will kick to the midsection. Drop Orton off his feet. Mysterio's got him back up. Looks for a springboard crossbody. Connects. Doesn't hold the pin as he's holding at his own rib cage. Now working away on the left arm of Orton. Both superstars have the same things in mind. Back to the head Mysterio goes. As Orton looks like he's in some trouble. Mysterio working away on all body parts. He's going to get Orton back to his feet. Now has him up. He's going to hit a Hurricane Rana, and this is where Orton doesn't want to be. In position for the 619. It connects. Mysterio going to drop the dime. He hits with the splash. Is that enough to beat Orton? 1, 2, and no. Orton kicks out. Oh, I thought that was it. Mysterio thought that was it. He hit him with the 619, but it wasn't enough. Orton now kick to the head of Mysterio. Working away. Gets him back to his feet. Kick to the midsection, a left. Mysterio moves out of the way, but Orton's still throwing those strikes. Mysterio's off balance. Connects with an elbow, though. Now from behind, drops Orton face first. I think he caught some of the ropes. That could have been trouble. But Orton back to his feet quickly. Mysterio throws him into the corner. Trying to set him up. Orton fights out of it. Back to the center of the ring they go, and Orton connects with an RKO, the second one of the match, this time in the center of the ring. Nowhere for Mysterio to go, and Randy Orton picks up the victory in a very hard-fought main event. Rey Mysterio gave it his all, but it was the Viper who prevails tonight. A little bit, hold up. Mysterio back to his feet. He offers the hand to Orton, and Orton will accept. There's that sign of respect between those two superstars. Mysterio will leave Orton to celebrate in the main event. There's 20 years of that, man. 20 great years of Randy Orton. That's all we have for you tonight. Upcoming is Backlash, 2 weeks, and it is official. Bianca Belair will go one-on-one against Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. We saw the rivalry take a new height tonight thanks to the kendo stick attack. 2 weeks, the rematch for the Raw Women's Championship. Another match added to the Backlash card. It is a big one for the United States Championship. These 6 competitors have been tied up in the past couple weeks, and it has been made official. Theory will defend his United States Championship against 5 men. AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Ciampa will have a shot to win the title. Doesn't look good for Theory, but can he retain? Back to the other matches of the card. Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, 2 out of 3 falls. Who will prevail in that one? And then in the main event, Roman Reigns puts the WWE Championship on the line in a triple threat match against Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. And speaking of Bobby Lashley, he has laid out the call-outs. Next week, he wants Roman Reigns in the center of the ring on Monday Night Raw. Fireworks expected to fly in that one. That is going to be a big episode next week, but that's all we have for you today. We're all building towards Backlash, the first pay-per-view here of the series. I cannot wait to bring it to you guys, but I hope you guys are enjoying so far. If you are, make sure you drop that like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more wrestling content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.
Bye.